All right, this first one is on solving multi-step equations. So they like to kind of share these steps, use them, don't use them. It's up to you. The first thing is you distribute. Sorry, that is my dog. You will hear him from time to time. If necessary. Okay, and so that if there's parentheses, then you're going to distribute those things into the equation. And then I would always, this one I think is important, I'm even going to highlight it, I would always combine like terms. Some people like to do some weird things, but I would get your like terms together on both sides, and then I would solve. Okay? So, if we look at this, these two things, so this problem is in your notes. I'm going to work about 3 of these, probably 4 actually, and then let you work a bunch. Those are like terms. That is 2x. They are on the same side. You're just combining them together. And then these are like terms. So you have 1 minus 5, so that's a negative 4. I would always start by getting your like terms together on any equation, because otherwise you're going to have a lot of crazy stuff happen. Now you're going to do opposite operation. You're trying to solve for this x. Right? So the 4 is in the way. So the opposite operation is to add the 4 and then to divide by 2. And so you get x equals a negative 8. And I'm sure that this is review from pre-algebra still. Okay, I get that. We're just going to kind of work forward. This is a target, and so you can kind of go through it quickly. Okay, so this is what I was talking about with distributive property. You have parentheses there. So I would first take care of parentheses. Please be careful with signs. So that's a negative 21a plus 7. So now if I look at that, I don't have like terms on either side. So now I'm just going to solve. I'm trying to solve for this a. So the 7 is in the way. So opposite operation of 7 is a minus 7. So that's 84. And then you divide by a negative 21. And your answer is a equals a negative 4. Okay. So on 4, you're going to multiply in. You always do the parentheses first. So that's going to be 4m minus 15m minus 50 equals 126. Now, some kids will kind of move things and do all kinds of other stuff. I'm just saying I would deal with this first. These are like terms. They're on the same side. So that gives you a negative 11m minus 50 equals 126. That might cause you to have like one more step of work, but you're not going to make mistakes. So now opposite operation, I would add the 50, and I get a negative 11m equals 176. Divide by a negative 11, and m equals a negative 16. Okay? And so then I'm going to do number 4, and then you're going to work a few. So on number 4, I would get 3k plus 24. And then when you multiply, this gets really weird. Like there's just a minus sign. So some kids like to put like a 1 there just to, you don't have to, but it might help you realize like you're multiplying in by the negative number. Okay, so now I'm going to look at my like terms. I've got a negative 3 and a negative 1. They're on the same side. That's a negative 4k. And I would get these like terms together too. And that's what I mean by I would just deal with that. You've got 24 minus 5, which is plus 19. Okay, so then I'm going to minus 19 to the other side. And I get, oops, I'm going to have to come up here. I ran out of room. Negative 4k equals 4. Divide by negative 4. And my answer is a negative 1. Forgot the 1. All right, so now what you're going to find as we do notes, I'm going to say pause and try. And if we're together, then I'm going to say, okay, you work those, give you a second. Okay, but this is a way of you to check to make sure you've gotten it. So please, I would like you right now, I would like you to do number 5 and number 6. I would like you to pause the video and I would like you to work them on paper. And then when you're done with them, and you can do one at a time or you can do both of them together. I don't care how you do it, but I would like you, if you unpause the video, I'm going to work them. Okay, so please pause the video and try these. So here you're timesing in by a negative 6. These are like terms, so I'm going to take a second and combine them together so I don't make a silly mistake. Oops, that's a 30. It's a minus 30, so you're going to add 30 to the other side. And then divide by a negative 2. So your answer on this one should have been a negative 25. Okay. All right, so then I also asked you to work 6. So on 6, you would go 16W minus 8 minus 4W equals a negative 116. Like terms, 12W minus 8 equals a negative 116. Add the 8. I think that's 104. I can't think today. 108, sorry. Divide by 12. That's a negative, though. And you get a negative 9. Yes? All right. I would like you to do 7 and 8. We're going to work 9 together because there's something in 9. But now I would like you to pause the video again, and I would like you to try 7 and 8. Pause. Okay, on 7 you get 11H minus 2H plus 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Come on. Plus, yeah, negative and a negative is a positive. Okay, so you get 9H plus 1 equals 118. So you're going to minus 1, and you get 9H equals 117. Divide by 9, and H equals 13. Okay. All right, so negative 25. Half of 10 is 5. Half of 2 is 1. Then I have like terms, so I'm going to just take a second and combine them. And you'll maybe start doing some shortcuts, and I'm okay with that as long as you're getting the right answers. Oh my gosh, I can't add today, sorry. Negative 25 plus 1 is negative 24, and then divide by 8, so x equals a negative 3. Okay? Now, I want to work number 9 together because fractions are going to be coming up a lot in this class. And so you kind of have to take your time and not panic about it. I just want to show you this really quick. I'm going to come over here to the side. So you're taking 5 halves times 8. And a lot of kids freak out about this, okay? But if you think about it, if you multiply 8 times 5, that's 40. And then if you divide that by 2, you get 20, right? But you could also take and divide the 8 by 4 and then times it by 5 and you get 20. Either way, you know this answer is 20R. Okay? So same thing here. 5 times 6 is 30. 30 divided by 2 is 15. Or 15, if you take 2 divided by 6, that's 3. 3 times 5 is also 15. Either way, you're getting 15. Okay, you've got to kind of get over any fear you have of fractions. We'll deal with them a lot. Yes, you can use your calculator, but you are going to have fractions. So now I have these are like terms. That's 22. These are like terms. That's a negative 18R. I'm going to minus 22 and minus 22. So I get a negative 18R equals 10. Okay, but if you divide, it doesn't go in there evenly. And so you need to start understanding that in the real world, when you start using this math, you are going to get fractions. So you get a negative 10/18. If you put that as an answer, unfortunately, I would have to take off because 2 goes into 10 and 2 goes into 18. So you do have to simplify fractions. And that will make more sense when we get into lines, because on lines, you'll want the simplified fraction. Okay, so I would like you to pause and try this challenge question. It's a doozy. It's a tricky question. We kind of just dealt with this in the last unit, but just try it. Okay, you're taking 5 times the difference. So you're taking 5 times a difference of twice a number and 3. So you have to use parentheses. And then it wants you to decrease it. So that's a minus. So I'm just going to highlight this so you can see. Then you're decreasing it by the sum of the number and 8. So you also have to put that in parentheses. And that's going to equal 13. So it starts getting into some of this wording that you're going to have to read and be able to do. So here you would get 10x minus 15. Oops. I meant just to put this. Minus x minus 8. Put your like terms together. That's 9x. Minus 23 equals 13. I'm going to add 23. And I get 9x equals 36. Divide by 9, and my answer is 4. Okay, that one is a doozy. There are some kind of harder ones on this.